Alright, now we're going to take a look at how to decipher the terminology and basically the language that's used a lot in geometry. Here's an example of a word problem that a lot of people might avoid because it just seems like there's too much there to deal with. But I'm going to show you some strategies to put this to work based on some simple concepts that you already probably know. Okay, this says ABCD is a square. If AB, that segment, is 2x plus 12 and BC is 3x plus 10, calculate the perimeter of the square. Now what we need to know is a square is a special kind of a quadrilateral, and everyone is usually familiar with a square enough to know that a square has 4 equal sides. Okay, we know already that this side and this side and this side and this side all have the same measurement. So if we could figure out what one of those sides was in terms of its length, then we should be able to figure out the entire thing. We're looking for the perimeter. So the way we do this is we write down everything we know. Okay, this is some information that if you put into a picture format, it's much easier to recognize. So I'm going to write AB. Now how did I know that AB was the top one? I didn't. I just picked it. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to write out and draw it the way I understand it. So I just picked a side for AB, and I'm going to say that AB is 2x plus 12. Now the other piece of information I have is that BC is 3x plus 10. So I'm going to make this BC and I'll write 3x plus 10. Now it's my job in geometry to take the information that's given to me and determine a relationship. Okay, well what do I know about AB and BC? Well, I got the marks there to prove it already. I know that these are congruent. They're the same. So I'm going to write that using algebra. I'm going to say 3x plus 10 equals 2x plus 12. I know those two sides have to be the same for it to be a square. Okay, now I've got an equation. Well, let's solve it and just see what it tells us. Okay, let's go through and do our algebra. I'm going to subtract 2x over here. It's not the only way to do it, but it's the way that I see is easiest because now I have a positive x to work with. So I have x plus 10 equals 12. And then I'm going to subtract 10 over to that side. And I'm going to have x equals 2. Now sometimes we get done with a problem, we get right to here and we go, okay, must be finished. Let's circle that answer. But did that really answer the question? No, it got us a big piece of information, but this asked us for the perimeter of the square, and I don't have that yet. So I need to think about what is the total distance of one of these sides. If I know that x equals 2, let me plug that back in instead of my variable, in place of it, and see what I get. That'd be 3 times 2 plus 10. That gives me 6 plus 10, which is 16. Okay, 16 is one side length. Now why did I put it down here? Well, because I know this is a square, every side is the same. So my perimeter is 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. Or I could write that as 16 times 4. Okay. And 16 times 4 is 64 units. Now I didn't put units squared because I was not finding the space right here. That would be area, that would be square units. I was finding the distance all the way around, which is linear units. Okay? And the bottom line is, when you get some information like this, don't avoid it. Try to take the information you're given in words and put it into a picture format and then determine what sort of relationship you have. Doesn't mean two sides are always equal, but you have some good ideas about how they relate to each other. Put that in mathematical form, and eventually you'll work your way down to an answer.